Yeah, that was a hard one.
All right. So UFC 316. We got a good card here. Gio's back in LA.
Yeah. Yeah, this is actually take 2. But anyway.
Yeah.
Alright. UFC 316. The card to salvage the Ultimate Fighting Championship from last week's circus act. Alright, so first fight.
Yeah, who do you got between MarQuel Mederos and Choinski?
Alright, so MarQuel Mederos is who I have for the simple fact that, you know, he has octagon experience, knockout in the Contender Series, unanimous decision, and then, you know, I had him beating Austin Hubbard. He did by split decision. He's not a spectacular fighter whatsoever, but
he's probably better than Choinski.
Mark Choinski is, you know, he's Anthony Pettis' Fight Club is where he's coming from. He's, you know, 7-8 opponent. Last, he has one LFA fight where he beat, you know, an 0-0 opponent.
Basically, he's just an emergency last-minute replacement fighter for Bologioki, right?
No, Bologioki fought last week. The thing is, like...
No, that fight got canceled.
No, it didn't. Bologioki fought, what's his name, no? No,
I thought it was... Or maybe I'm getting the wrong name, but Mederos was supposed to fight...
Mederos was supposed to fight Oki, and then he got sick, and then Bologioki fought... whoever.
But they had to call this guy up.
Yeah. The thing is, like, with the thing with Mark Choinski is that, you know, he's a grappler that is going to be debuting in the octagon. You know, I don't think, you know, he's going to be able to get Mederos down. I mean, I hope he doesn't, because Mederos has pretty much no grappling. But yeah, I think Mederos is gonna be able to just strike a distance, probably to a decision. Maybe he knocks him out. It's possible, but
it could happen.
It's just highly unlikely that Choinski comes in and beats Mederos.
Extremely unlikely, yeah.
Yeah. So mark out Mederos.
Okay, who do you got between Quillan Salkilld and Yanal Ashmouz?
So this fight, a lot of people want to lock Quillan Salkilld because of his performance against Angel Jubilee. Basically,
but Ashmouz is a lot better than Jubilee.
Ashmouz is much better than Jubilee, and also, I mean, you know, it has and could be argued that that was an early stoppage. I mean, obviously Jubilee would have lost regardless.
Right.
The thing about this fight is like the size difference. Lightweight's a weird division like that. Like, you know, Ashmouz, Ashmouz is 5'9". You know, Salkilld is 6 feet even, so it's not like, you know, it's not like a y'all out.
Ashmouz has a victory over Sam Patterson, who's like 6'3".
Yeah, that's a different, like, you know, like I was saying before, that's a different 6'3" is a lot different than 6 feet, but, like, you know, I mean, and it's like, you know, do these, like, stats really matter? It matters, you know, how each fighter fights. I mean, coming out of PFL, Ashmouz debuted, knocked out Sam Patterson in the first round. He lost to Chris Duncan, but he took Chris Duncan to a decision, which after Duncan submitted Bologioki and Vucenic in the first round, that loss ages well.
Pretty good.
Trevor Peek, who I mean, I don't know. People seem to have mixed feelings about Trevor Peek, but you know, Ashmouz's fight against him. He's coming off a decision win. Ashmouz is a lot better than people, you know, give him credit for.
Yeah.
Salkilld, it's like, you know, to me, he wins this fight. I think it's just that, you know, it's like he's less.
I don't understand those odds at all, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the odds makers, you know, wanting
Maybe
people.
they know something about Salkilld.
No, it's not that. It's that they just want more people to bet, dude.
Why would they put Jubilee up against somebody that's that good?
I mean, well, it was both of them.
Really want Jubilee?
It was both of them debuting. It was his debut.
Was that? I thought that was the second time.
Oh, it might have been. Was it Jubilee's second?
Click on Jubilee.
Yeah, let me see. No,
Yeah, he already
Jubilee,
lost
he already
two
got
fights.
knocked out.
He won a fight?
Yeah, he knocked out Serghei, who's also on this card. We'll get to him.
Okay. Yeah, you cannot pick the guy that lost to Jubilee.
No, but also, I mean, I'm gonna take Salkilld for sure. I just think it's gonna be a tougher fight for him than a lot of people think.
That makes sense.
You know, it's his striking is definitely good. See, the thing is, Ashmouz
can grapple a little bit.
He can wrestle well. Yeah, but
yeah, I wouldn't make that a lock if I were you, but
yeah, I don't know. I don't know yet. But yeah,
I see why you were saying this one was a lot though for saying you versus
Jeka, so Quillan Salkilld for sure.
Yeah, you picked Salkilld. You made that clear.
Yeah. All right. Next fight is.
So you got Jeka Saragih and Jusang Yu.
All right. Jeka Serghei, right? Or Jeka, however it's pronounced.
He's just a guy that lost.
He's an abysmal fighter. He's the equivalent of Connor Matthews, bro.
Although he did just beat Alexander.
Yeah, he knocked out Lucas Alexander, who should never. I mean, Bogdangrad did the same. Joe Anderson Brito subbed him around.
Yeah, but this guy.
Yeah, I mean,
lost in the weeds here. So
yeah, look, Saragih got submitted by Weston Wilson, which is a sad sight.
He got KO'd.
He got knocked out by Andrew Jubilee. That's right. Now, and that's coming off of Road to UFC. A lot of Road to UFC guys are actually some of the best.
Yeah, I know you said that. You think that
but
some of those guys are good.
Yeah, not Saragih.
Where did this guy...
couldn't hack it in the octagon.
So this guy, Park Yu is a new guy.
Jusang Yu, yeah.
Is he Korean or what? Yeah, South Korea. Yeah, that's why I said Park, because he's got Korean stuff.
Yeah, word. So anyway, so I actually did watch some of his regional stuff in these ZFM fights. So like he's like this dude was 10-4, this Japanese featherweight that he fought. This is a guy that he's had real opponents. Like he's not coming in 8-0.
They're not complete cans, you're saying?
They're not. Most of them, you could call
10
them
and
cans.
4 regional
But
records
he beat an 18-6 opponent before that. They're seasoned fighters, enough. This promotion Heat, he fought for a belt, and his opponent was
Kuramoto.
Yeah.
So you were impressed with his
his regional stuff was good. I didn't watch the Heat fight, but
but you watched the ZFN ones and he looked pretty sharp.
Yeah, he looked good. And then also, he's got finishing. He's got knockout power. He has finishing ability for sure. I think also he's really fast too. And Saragih is defenseless. Somebody just overpowers him with strikes, he's done.
Right.
And not even outpointed, just completely falls apart, Anthony Smith style.
You said you were thinking about locking this one, right?
Yeah, I honestly think you is a probable lock, yeah. But
yeah.
Alright, so yeah, Jusang Yu beats Saragih.
Okay, so you got Jusang Yu. What about Ariane de Silva or Wang Cong? This is the Joker.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
she's cool.
Yeah,
hopefully she wins.
Despite that horrendous loss to Gabriela Fernandez, she did redeem herself in her fight after that.
Yeah.
The thing with her, she was kind of the darling of the UFC's
the China card. That's the one she lost on.
Well, no, she was the darling of the UFC PI in China, in Shanghai, I think. And yeah, and no, she came out. Yeah, she debuted against Victoria Leonardo with a knockout, and then got subbed by Gabriela Fernandez, which is fairly disgraceful. She was on road to UFC, the submission.
She bounced back against Bruno Brazil.
Yeah, she did. She definitely did. She has a lot of power. And the thing with Ariane de Silva, it's like Wang Kong's, older, but it's Ariane de Silva has kind of been chewed up a lot. I mean, the Jasmine Judavicius loss is not.
Didn't she take a lot of damage in that one?
Yeah, Jasmine hurts people.
She does that.
I mean, and it's like, Ariane Silva, it's like, she might be a better grappler than Wang Cong, but look at. Yeah,
I don't think she's good enough to impose that.
No, she isn't. She isn't. That's what I'm saying. I mean, Montana De La Rosa knocked her out. She was knocked out by Priscilla Cachoeira. God. I mean, she submitted Casey O'Neill. She lost to Korean Silva. She's very finishable.
Yeah.
Which means that she's gonna avoid strikes, and I think Wang Kong's gonna be wary of any type of grappling that Ariane Silva tries to impose.
Yeah, I don't see her being able to impose the grappling.
Yeah, it's I think, is the Silva ranked? I think she is.
No.
No? I feel like they're gonna give Wang Kong a shot at the rankings soon, but
Maybe
regardless.
This one.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take Wang Kong. I'm gonna lock Wang Kong.
Wait, what about Khaos Williams or Andreas Gustafsson?
This fight, bro.
Yeah.
This fight is a difficult fight to pick. So on one hand, Andreas Gustafsson has never been finished. He's got 2 decision losses. Neither one was in Brave, but
he's making his debut.
He is making his debut. His Contender Series fight was not as impressive as you would have liked to see. He's got this 10-second first round knockout before that, but I mean, who's that? It's against that was
it seems like a little bit of a tough matchup for your debut. Right?
It's Khaos Williams, 100%. Now the thing
dangerous matchup.
The thing about Gustafsson is that he can grapple.
Right.
And the fact that you can grapple basically, is what's gonna make the difference. Khaos Williams, he got submitted by Bonfim. I think though, he's going to hunt for knockouts. He's got. That's the strategy. Strike to the body. Just come out and attack. Not worry about gassing out.
Yeah, he swings.
And
swings with bad intention.
Yeah, exactly. And Gustafsson is, I thought he won the Bedoya fight. I don't think that was a robbery. He took Randy Brown. He lost to Randy Brown. It was a very, very close.
Randy Brown is pretty good.
Randy Brown's very good. Just finished Nicholas Dowdy.
Yeah.
It's like.
And Michel Pereira is not terrible.
Yeah, and honestly, he debuted against Bruno. He beat Al Hassan early on, 30 seconds in the first round knockout. Yeah, Khaos Williams, it's just being the more seasoned fighter. Andreas Gustafsson debuting in the octagon. Khaos Williams, basically needing a win. I think he's
more likely to get it done.
I think he just batters him. That's the strategy.
Yeah, Khaos Williams, he's a winning fighter in the UFC. 9 fights, way more experience. Probably gotta pick him.
Yeah, I'm definitely taking Khaos Williams with the tiniest amount of reservation, but not a crazy amount, because Gustafsson's got to get him to the ground. How do you do that against Khaos Williams?
You gotta step into the fire.
Yeah, who's also striking, and he could get power on shots at range. He's got a longer reach, I don't think he leaves the opening there.
All right, so you got Khaos Williams.
Yes.
What about Serghei Spivac or Waldo Cortez Acosta?
This fight might be, honestly, this is one of probably, I'll say, 3 fights that I'm the most excited for, because Waldo Cortez Acosta, I'm going to take a minute with this.
Yeah,
Waldo Cortez Acosta has been padded completely.
Basically, you don't like him because he fucking laid on Despain.
Yes, I take that very personally. But on the same token, right? Look at his UFC. Look at his fights in the UFC. He's got decision over Jared Vanderrod, decision over Chase Sherman, Marcos Rogerio de Lima, the only medium tier fighter that he's ever fought.
Like borderline rankings type of guy, right?
Yeah, and that's the best opponent he's faced. Okay, and he lost that fight. Marcos Rogerio de Lima would go on to get flying knee KO'd by Derek Lewis in 30 seconds. Okay, his only finishes in the UFC are against Lucas Bresky, the worst fighter alive, and Ryan Spann recently.
Yeah, Ryan Spann, who looked fat and out of shape.
And also, who should not really
have put on way too much weight, way too quick for that heavyweight fight.
And also, didn't grapple, which was his ace in the hole.
Right.
Now, that being said, right, Serghei Spivac will grapple.
Yeah, you know what?
Serghei Spivac.
Acosta has a lot of boring fights for UFC.
Oh, yeah, he's got for sure. And the other thing, too, is that Spivac is every bit as good of a striker as Cortez Acosta. But
he can actually.
But he'll how does he not take him to the ground and submit him? He armbarred Tybura.
And Tybura is actually pretty good at grappling.
Yeah,
much better than you would assume. He's much better than Waldo.
Yeah.
Based on anything you've seen out of Waldo.
Yeah, and it's like and Spivac's been, he's been not only he's been in like the top 8 for a while at heavyweight, and there's like that line of delineation.
Right. He's
right.
Yeah.
Spivac is like the razor's edge of
the fatties and the guys that are actually good.
Exactly. Yeah.
He kind of delineates that.
Yeah, I mean he's sub Derek Lewis. It's like guys that Cortez Acosta might win a decision over, like Augusto Sakai.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Spivac is knocking out. Submitting Derek Lewis in a round. He fought Jared Vanderrod too.
Losses are to Almeida, Gahn, and Aspinall.
Yeah, and Walt Harris when Walt Harris was good.
I don't think.
And that was his debut.
Waldo's not on that level.
Yeah, not at all. No, look at the opponents they have in common. I mean, whatever, MMA trigonometry, but still, like Jared Vanderrod, he's knocking Jared Vanderrod.
Yeah.
It's like that's what you want to see.
Yeah, I think he's a level above Waldo.
Yeah, and like.
But Waldo, there is that slim chance Waldo could just make it a boring.
No, Spivac, Spivac, no way. Not Spivac.
No way,
no, because Spivac grabs him and takes him down, and twists something, or squeezes his throat, bro. Like Cortez Acosta is not a grappler. The fact that he laid his fat ass on top of Roberto Spain doesn't make him a grappler.
Yeah.
And I'm definitely excited for that fight. I really.
You want to see Waldo get his.
Yeah.
Comeuppance.
Yes, exactly. And I also want to win that bet that I have with Orange Cat MMA. But also, So
Spivac is definitely the pick. Possibly a lock on that one.
Honestly, maybe. Live dangerously.
What about Azamat Mirzakhanov or Brendson Ribeiro?
Another fight I'm very excited for. I think Azamat Mirzakhanov.
It's a mismatch, right?
I mean, I definitely think that. So first of all, dude, Azamat Mirzakhanov is criminally underrated.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Azamat.
I'm a huge fan of him. He knows how to be 5'10" at light heavyweight.
He looks like a fat, bald old man, but man, he's got hands.
Dude, he also is he's also one of those guys that I mean he remains undefeated, and and it's like, oh well, who has he fought? It's like Alonzo Menefield.
Yeah, Menefield's no joke.
Menefield is actually no joke. And then before that, Dustin
Jacoby is pretty damn good.
Yeah,
technical.
Yeah, it's inside, and he's got he's undefeated in the UFC. He's undefeated in general, 14-0.
He's got a lot of TKOs on his record.
All finishes in the UFC except for the unanimous decision against Jacoby.
Right.
And honestly, like Brendson Ribeiro,
he broke his arm and still beat Jacoby.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And he
Tough-
also
tough guy.
so Brendson Ribeiro, Brendson Ribeiro's much taller with a much
Yeah, but Azamat is short. Everyone's taller than Azamat.
No, yeah,
It's,
exactly. Now, and that's the thing is like he'll get inside of people. Now, like no one had literally no one for the most part had Brendson Ribeiro against Nagaze, whatever. Like, then who knew that guy had, who knew that guy was, half in the bag.
Yeah.
Do you remember that fight? Brendson Ribeiro versus,
I don't remember that one.
he was a dude just twitching the whole time and, like, rubbing his ear.
Oh,
and it
like
turned
he
out
looked like he was
Yeah, it turned out,
something.
yeah, it turned out he had Tourette's or something. Like, actually.
Yeah. I remember when he barrel beat Kyle Machado.
Yeah, barely beat him, and he lost the majority.
Machado was the guy that came down from heavyweight. Right?
Yeah, he got knocked out by Zhang Ming Yang. And Zhang Ming
Yang's pretty good too, though.
Yeah. Gadzi Azulov, that was another like hugging match.
Yeah, he's just not on Azamat's level, dude.
No, and I think Azamat, who was originally supposed to fight Johnny Walker.
That would have been a good one, but
Yeah, I think because that's a huge. It's like 5'10" against 6'6".
I feel like Azamat would still get him though.
Yeah, Azamat would have beaten Johnny Walker. He's definitely gonna beat Brendson.
This is you're probably gonna lock this one.
Absolutely, without a doubt.
All right, what about another pretty good fight here is Bruno Silva versus Joshua Van.
So this fight,
I like Joshua Van.
I like Joshua Van a lot. I'm gonna take him. Like, why? It's like the question is. See, this is the thing though about flyweight Bruno Silva, because I mean middleweight Bruno Silva is paralyzed below the waist at this point.
He's washed up, but
Yeah. So Manel Kopp made flyweight Bruno Silva look foolish. However, Manel Kopp's a different animal. Flyweight Bruno Silva, he's like he basically, so what? He lost to Dvorak, lost to Tigier. Tigier is a very respectable loss. Yeah. Went on KO JP Baez, who hasn't, right? Victor Rodriguez. Submitted Tyson Nam. The Cody Durden knockout, though, was impressive. Cody Durden, somebody that Joshua Van, had moments of struggling against, although he did piece him up in the later rounds.
Yeah. Well, Van can be a slow starter.
Yeah, he can.
Loses the first round,
and also
quite often.
The thing is, his takedown defense is the sum of his grappling ability, and that was
could be a problem against Silva, right?
He couldn't finish Cody Durden. The Ray Teixeira fight, that was a lot more competitive. Although Teixeira is really good. Van has been knocked out by Charles Johnson.
Yeah.
He has knockout power for sure. I mean, he knocked out Felipe Bunez, which, you could say that doesn't age well, but then Bunez went on to beat Jose Johnson. The thing is are we thinking too much about how Manel Kopp made Bruno Silva look?
Yeah, that's a good point, because Manel Kopp that was one of the best performances I've memory.
Yeah, it really was.
But I think you gotta realize Joshua Van is 23 years old, dude. He's still getting better every time he goes out there.
Yeah, that's true. It's just that Bruno Silva coming off that loss Bruno Silva's dangerous, dude, and he's I mean, the thing is though, it's he's not. If Joshua Van were bigger than him, I would say Bruno Silva actually would be more dangerous, because he fights. He kind of like Jesus Aguilar, both of them 5'4", very compact. They can both grapple and strike. But Joshua Van is he's only an inch taller. His striking. I mean, he overwhelms with combinations. He does have power. He doesn't have the kind of power that I see. It's almost like Bruno Silva has more power to his strikes, but does he? But
Joshua Van has so much more skill with his
Yeah, Van's a lot more technical too. It's like, is Bruno Silva capable of
landing on him? And I think he's got faster hands.
Yeah, no, he for sure does. I mean, not to go Angelo from Prize Picks or whatever, or We Want Picks, but yeah, significant strikes landed per minute differential.
Yeah, Van is always like one. Yeah, of the, Van. Look, we talked about that last time. He's like the number one guy for that.
Yeah, he's and he's only 23. I think Van definitely wins. I just like.
You just don't think it's a lock, right?
I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure that out.
You gotta think on that one. All right, but you got Joshua Van.
Joshua Van for sure.
Right, what about Vicente Luque or Kevin Holland?
Main card, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take Kevin Holland. I think Kevin Holland is way better at welterweight.
Yeah, I agree.
I think Vicente Luque, despite being only 33 years old, is relatively washed.
He's got a lot of miles on him.
Yeah, I think the Themba Garimbo win. I mean, a man walked into a fist, and you know, Themba Garimbo was never that good. I think
I was kind of shocked that he even won that one.
I mean, I think that I think that Joaquin Buckley just completely broke Vicente Luque psychologically and otherwise.
Right, it almost looked like he quit in that, to the point that even Buckley was joking, making jokes like he took money. He was joking that he took a dive or something.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think like
but Buckley probably hits pretty fucking hard.
Yeah, but Buckley hits very hard. Also like people, you know, the 5-round main event when Luque against Rafael dos Anjos, who was fighting up a weight class. I mean, I don't rate that the way that, you know, a lot of people do. I mean, you know, it's just like, you know, knocked out by Jeff Neal.
Looking at a decision of
Bilal Muhammad then. And then, and I mean, you know, he, in 2021, you know, he had back-to-back subs over Tyron Woodley, Michael Chiesa. He did knock out Randy Brown, but that was 5 years ago, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I mean,
he's not the same guy, dude.
No, he's not at all. I mean, and also earlier than that, Bilal Muhammad knocked him out. Yeah, his career goes back. Just in the UFC goes all the way back to 2015.
He's been in some wars too over the years.
Yeah, he has. And he's got, you know, he's got brain bleeds and shit.
I'm pretty surprised if he wins over Kevin Holland.
Yeah, Kevin Holland also has a very impressive fight IQ. Even at middleweight, getting put right on the ground by Oleg Sejcek and then locking up that armbar, like.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, against a guy like Roman Dolidze, that's so much bigger.
Yeah,
like,
Dolidze's just so much stronger than him.
Yeah, he broke a rib trying to, like, scramble out of that. But, you know, I mean, you know, the Gunnar Nelson fight was definitely impressive. You know,
right.
I mean, you know, the back-to-back finish losses to DeRitter and Dolidze.
And, like, look at the only welterweights he loses seem to be elite. Like, I mean, I really think that.
And people think
Michael Page is an amazing striker. So is JDM.
Dude, look, the thing about
Thompson, Chimaev.
Yeah, definitely. The thing about Michael Venom Page's fight with Kevin Holland, people really act like, you know, MVP styled on him. And
no, it was
a much closer fight than people make it out to be.
Yeah.
You know, split decision with JDM. You know, submitted Michael Chiesa. Knocked out Ponzinibbio. I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You know, his he's, you know, Kevin Holland is very inconsistent, but.
Well, to me, it looks like he loses to either people that are a lot bigger than him and stronger, or people that are really, really good.
Well, he's very big for a welterweight, but
when he goes up to middleweight,
when he goes up to middleweight, he's got problems. At welterweight, dude, with everything he has in his arsenal, his striking is powerful, and he's got
a great chin.
Well. He does. He's a better chin than Luque, I would say, at this point. But mainly, I mean, you know, Luque's grappling is not I just think that, like, Holland's better everywhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, at this point in their career, probably. I agree with that.
I mean,
It's a good take.
you know, I mean, yeah. It's like if it goes to the ground, Holland's got him. On the feet, Holland's got him, especially with the reach advantage.
All right, so Kevin Holland. What about Mario Bautista or Patchy Mix?
All right, this fight.
That's a good one.
This fight, bro. I'm so like. Oh, God. Okay. So I had Bautista beating Aldo in my first ever video on my channel.
Yeah, I remember that. I was arguing with you. I thought fucking Aldo was gonna win.
Yeah. Now Mario Bautista is not bad. He really isn't bad. Everybody, you know, it's like people act like the way he fought Aldo is the way he always fights. The being like, oh, Patchy Mix is just gonna, you know, it's like he's gonna get it. Well, okay, so Patchy Mix is a very, very good fighter. Like, and what distinguishes him from a lot of these Bellator guys like Patricio Pitbull,
He's still in his prime.
Yeah, true, and also the bantamweight division of Bellator is levels above most of and so I mean, you know, having watched back like a few, like actually a lot of Patchy Mix's fights, like the Sergio Pettis submission was fire. The Stotts fight, like
the submission he pulled on Magomedov was pretty good.
Yeah, it was.
Magomedov went in for a takedown and he snatched up
he
scrambled and snatched up a guillotine on him.
Yeah, and also, and the rematch, which was a split decision, you know, like, you know, it was not as impressive, but at the same time, I mean, you know, what's his name? Magomedov. I mean, he's a
very Muslim.
He's a really good. Man. He's a really good fighter, bro. He yeah.
You know that means that's how they say Muhammad.
I think it's like a different version. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, like, also though, like, it's just like the adjustment to the octagons is something that has to be taken into account. It's like
opposed to the round circle of Bellator.
Yeah,
you
well,
think
yeah,
that makes a difference?
It does consistently. I mean, and Mario Bautista's fought on a main card on a pay-per-view before.
Well, Patchy Mix has been the main event.
No, of course. But God, if Bautista wins, I'm gonna be so angry.
So are you gonna pick Patchy Mix?
It's like I have to go with Patchy Mix.
Yeah, I think I would pick Patchy Mix too.
I mean,
he's not like Pitbull, a guy that's totally.
He's not like Pitbull. I mean, I think he's a stronger prospect than MVP. I think he's a stronger.
Right, because MVP was not the champion.
And yeah, a lot of the Bellator guys too are past their prime when, you know. I mean, Chandler was like, yeah.
Yeah. He still beat Dan Hooker in his first fight.
Yeah, and then Tony Ferguson, who was already was already broken by Gaethje, and then it was all downhill from there, for the most part.
I know what you're saying.
I mean, I think, it's just like, I can see it for Bautista, kind of, though. So you try to see it in your head. But Patchy Mix just has so many creative ways of finding finishes, and he hunts for finishes, bro. Like, Mario Bautista fights to win,
right?
Versus Patchy Mix fights to finish.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
That makes sense.
You know, which, you know, like, I mean, that, you know, if nothing else, that explains, you know, Bautista's, method of beating Jose Aldo.
Right.
You know, and I think that Aldo at bantamweight is very overrated and always was. I don't think he ever should have gone down to bantamweight. So I mean, you know, anyway, Patchy Mix, it's like, he's too. It's just he's too good. He's got too much in his arsenal. I just it's hard for me to see him losing this fight.
Yeah, I think he's just got more ways to win.
Yeah.
If he get a submission.
Yeah. So I am gonna take Patchy mix. Definitely not a lock, but I know a lot of people that Patchy mix is a lock. Yeah.
What about Kelvin Gastelum or Joe Pyfer?
Joe Pyfer all day, bro.
Yeah, that's an easy one.
Now here's why, right?
Yeah.
It's like, Kelvin Gastelum's never been finished. I don't care. Joe Pyfer is absolutely gonna knock him out. Joe Pyfer who trains with Sean Brady. Sean Brady established such dominance over Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah.
Like, it was 3 rounds of just domination and then finally in the 3rd round he showed him mercy and submitted him. Now Joe Pyfer's not that kind of grappler, but he trains with that kind of grappler, which means that at the
he
very
is a good grappler. No, you can't.
Yeah, which at the
he's
very
not on Brady's level, but
well, at the very least, what that means is that he's not going to Kelvin Gastelum. All Kelvin Gastelum has for him is to try and grapple. Kelvin Gastelum.
That's not gonna work for him.
He's not gonna knock Joe Pyfer out. He's not gonna outstrike Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer lands on him clean, and he's gonna, if he's even still awake, he's gonna pull
Well,
guard.
he is known for having a great chin.
No, he's like,
But I don't know if that's.
I don't know if that holds up to
Pyfer.
against
Pyfer, yeah.
I mean, I think,
I think Pyfer.
I think Pyfer's absolutely a lock.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
What about Julianna, Peña, or Kayla Harrison?
Okay, so some people say that Julianna Peña's victory over Amanda Nunes.
All you gotta do is look at a picture of them side by side.
Right. Well, there's those that say that, but so people say that Amanda Nunes had COVID and blah 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 and everything, right? Now, Julianna Peña versus Raquel Pennington, I thought that... Now, I had Julianna Peña. She did win by split decision against Raquel Pennington, who I thought she should have submitted inside of a couple of rounds.
That almost seemed like a robbery at the time to me, dude.
I don't think it was a robbery, but I think it was so beyond too close. I mean, what do you think Kayla Harrison does to Raquel Pennington?
He probably holds her down.
I mean, definitely,
Doesn't let her get up.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the thing is, I think that, the finishes, the thing is, Ketlin Vieira made Kayla Harrison look less than competent on the ground,
Yeah, it kind of was like a hype-killing performance.
Yeah, and you got to imagine
I just looked at Kayla Harrison. I was like hoping she would just destroy these other women, but
she did do that to Holly Holm, but Holly Holm was 40. Yeah, I think so. Here the possibilities are. It is not impossible that this goes to the ground. Peña locks up a slick submission. It's possible. I don't think, given Kayla Harrison's just overall strength, she takes Peña to the ground on her own terms. It's probably
just gonna manhandle her, dude.
It's probably
I feel like she probably won't get it finished, but she'll just clearly.
She could see her. I feel like her move is almost to. She could. If it's on the ground, she could strike into a rear naked choke. Yeah, I've seen odds everywhere from -400 all the way up to -950 on Kayla Harrison. Those are massively overinflated, but regardless.
Yeah.
I think.
Nobody's bet. Let me just look at something real quick.
Right, I think Kayla Harrison's probably almost certainly lockable.
Yeah,
to
that makes
win the
sense.
belt.
What about
Main
Merab?
event.
Yeah, the main event. Merab Valashvili or Sean O'Malley? It seems like another easy one to pick.
I'm very excited to. I mean, it's not going to be as exciting as the first fight when everybody was
Well, somehow people thought O'Malley would win.
people scoffed, dude. They scoffed, and I collected so much money.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, now this.
So wasn't that fight like even money more or less? That's crazy.
Well, they opened it. Dude, this is how odds makers work, dude. They opened O'Malley as an underdog because
get people to
because they did the same thing with Pereira versus Ankalaev. Now this fight though, it's just like
I mean, I was looking at those odds. I was thinking that looks like a good deal on Merab minus 290.
I mean,
because there's a narrative that the first fight was close. But it didn't seem very.
No,
close.
it was not. It wasn't close in the technicality
to me,
of
it's like
the
Merab
system.
just goofed off in the 5th round.
Yeah, it's exactly what happened. 100. And like
he knew if he needed that 5th round, it would not have gone that way.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I mean, dude, there's nothing.
Every time O'Malley started to get it going on the feet, Merab just tackled him with ease.
Yeah, and also
shot a double leg takedown.
What people don't realize too is that Merab outstruck him in at least one round. It's kind of like how the height difference plays a huge role. It's kind of like how Max Holloway was forced to fight Volkanovski.
Yeah.
And and the disadvantages that put him in, also being primarily a striker.
Left his legs vulnerable.
In fact, it is the exact same height difference.
I think it makes it. I think O'Malley's build makes him easy to take down.
It does, and the thing, O'Malley's another guy like Pereira, a lot of guys that are primarily kickboxers, where it's like the sum of his grappling is going to be.
Well, he has a little bit of jiu-jitsu,
he does, but like the sum of his grappling at a championship level is going to be takedown defense at best.
And he's going to be
working his way back to his feet like he did against Pierre Yan.
Yeah, no, he's going to be worried about Merab taking him down.
He's going to be very worried.
He's not going to really get into a flow state. And
it's going to be very hard for him to commit to kicks, to anything that could take him off balance. And Merab is going to be...
And Merab has a good chin. Like, he can get wobbled.
Marlon Moraes. Dude, not only that...
Cejudo wobbled him really good, too, and he bounced back from that.
Dude, I genuinely believe that Merab, we haven't seen what Merab is capable of, or even
I don't think anyone's gonna beat him for a while.
I think Merab, dude, the Marlon Moraes KO, right? Like, I think Merab's whole thing is like, it's like, okay, like you try, like you really want a knockout to happen in this fight, right?
Yeah.
Like, all right, this knockout's gonna happen. It's not gonna be me, like.
Yeah,
I mean,
you just got to appreciate Merab, dude. He's one of the best.
How about the fact that after 4 months after winning the belt, they put him into a title defense against the only person in the division that's a threat, and he like
And he did his thing.
Yeah,
man, Umar is really good too.
Umar's crazy good.
Umar was.
Look at the way Sandhagen finished Figueiredo, and Umar just had it. Umar just and Merab just
Umar was he was winning the first couple rounds, and then he was like this guy will not stop.
Dude, he wouldn't. Merab he doesn't stop, dude. He doesn't.
He fights at
his cardio
is
blistering pace. His cardio is insane, and also he just.
I don't think you cannot say that he's a boring.
He's not a boring fighter at all. I think honestly, Merab is gonna be looking for a finish in this fight. I really think so. I don't think he's gonna just be content to
demoralize him.
I don't think he's gonna. And now, and you think it's like, oh, O'Malley's a finisher. Well, he couldn't finish Cheeto. Even though everyone called that a masterclass.
Well, that was, dude. I do think O'Malley is an amazing striker.
He's a very good striker,
but
he's a phenomenal striker.
He's not going to be able to do that.
He's not going to be able to. Even if he catches dude, if he catches Merab the way he caught Aljo, Merab's not going down.
They might pull an early stoppage so they can get him his belt back.
No, dude, he doesn't. The UFC, he's not the darling that he was of the UFC anymore, where he getting gifted that first title defense and everything. I mean, I think if he does land a nice shot on Merab will he'll fucking stumble around for a minute and just bounce right back. And then dial in. Yeah. He's got.
Because Merab, he does. I've seen him get wobbled pretty bad, and he always bounces.
Dude, the Marlon Moraes fight would be the prime example of that. But yeah, he's a beast. He's one of what is it? I can't even count how many wins in a row he has. Here, let's see. So, how many is that?
2, 3, 6, 9, 12 in a row.
Yeah, 12.
I look at it, but they're all against all time.
Yeah, and who is
Aldo?
Dude, John Dodson too. John Dodson is somebody that people don't remember as being very good. John Dodson in his prime was fire. And then Marlon Moraes, Jose Aldo, Pierre Yan, Henry Cejudo beats O'Malley for the belt, defends the belt against Umar.
Honestly, Umar was the closest out of all of them against Merab. Did the best.
Well, yeah, dude. And I'd say Umar beats O'Malley as well.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, that was one judge had it 49-46. The other.
Yeah, Merab definitely won, but.
Yeah, no, that was Umar got him down too. I mean, you look at most of Merab's fights, it's like. Yeah. Did Cejudo get him down ever?
No, but Cejudo did wobble him in the first round.
Yeah, but that was, I mean, dude,
Cejudo,
not as badly
Cejudo's
as Moraes did.
MMA grappling is not.
Dude, Cejudo should never have come. He's come out of retirement one too many.
Yeah, he's just trying to get his bag,
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
Stick to the podcast.
Yeah.
But anyway,
so
Merab is an absolute lock. I'm sorry, everybody.
I think people are starting to come around
people
on him,
people have definitely started to come around on him. It's just that there's still those guys.
One of the best ever.
Yeah, there's still those guys in the Bronx and in Lawrence, Massachusetts. Smoking Cool Milds and coughing their lungs up and, talking about how O'Malley's, gonna get that belt back and how he was robbed the first time. Yeah, nah.
That's not happening.
It's not happening.
I don't even think O'Malley thinks that's gonna happen.
I think O'Malley knows he's fucked. I really do.
These guys are
I really think he knows he's fucked.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
But, yeah.
We'll find out.
Saturday night.
Spite.
All right.
Saturday.
It should be a good card. There's some good prelims on this one, so.
There are Saturday. Plate. Sorry. Alright, so yeah, dude. Merab's gonna kill O'Malley.
That's what I would agree with that.
Alright, yeah, UFC 316. Let's do it. Let's go. Let's actually have a UFC card with. I mean, aside from Mederos, because it's not gonna happen. But I'd like to see can you imagine every fight ends in a finish? That almost happened. Almost happened on that sweet card that I swept. Morales. Versus Burns. But anyway. Alright, so that's it,
Yep.
UFC 316.
So you put your locked videos out, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna, I haven't had betting advice videos. I'm gonna do one for this card where I like fully flesh out round robins. I'll show you how to do them. All right, like it's gonna be like so that there's no mistakes, because I've heard a lot of the UK fucks they have I mean and its terminology is different and everything, so it's like So I need to totally recapitulate all that in a way that's not boring as hell. So that's coming. All right, UFC 316. Marab's gonna beat O'Malley and everything else that we said.
All right, sounds good.
Take it easy.
See you later, guys.